Good evening, everybody. This is Daily Recall on July 28th, 2026. I'm Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario. Windy day today. Really cool and windy. Like my inflatable pool flew across the room on the patio. That's how windy it was. Still is. But at least it's not like smoky and it's not gross hot like it was yesterday. So it's weird weather this year. They say that like the world's gonna, the magnetic whatever pole of the Earth's changing and the weather's changing, and it's not global warming. It's not human. It's just natural change of the Earth, and like our civilization will probably be wiped out in like 10 years from this. So this weather's kind of crazy. I don't know, maybe I'm just imagining things. We'll see how the rest of the summer is. It's been a weird summer though, weather-wise. It's been weird. Okay. So being summer, it's usually a lot of slow news. I know it's always hard to fill the newspaper pages in the old days, I guess. In the summer months. So not much going on. I mean, there's lots of stuff going on, but it seems like people are just chilling out for the summer. Couple things. I saw a poll. Pierre's still losing bad to Carney. The polls numbers are bleak, and I'm wondering how long before the chatter starts about getting rid of him. I don't know. Maybe they won't. But it seems like it's already starting. I've seen some posts today. And it seems like every day there's more posts of questioning Pierre's leadership. You know, because of these poll numbers are horrible poll numbers for Pierre. He's a weird guy because people like Corey Tenecki, who got Doug Ford elected, he say Pierre's he's too much with the far right, and the people on the far right say Pierre's too much of the Uniparty. So it's like the guy's trying to be everything to everybody, and then you get nothing. He doesn't stand for nothing. He doesn't fire up the nationalists. He doesn't fire up anything. But it's a weird. The Conservatives have been losers for 10 years, so it's 12 years almost. And I saw this thing, a big human trafficking bust in near Toronto. It seems like you see more and more of that human trafficking cases in Canada, and like the police sending out, even here in Sarnia, sending out warnings to look at, signs to look out for. for human trafficking. It's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, it's business. Like, they're trying to make money off vulnerable young people, mostly girls, but I'm sure boys too. Why not? So yeah, and then that's it. Nothing much going on. I don't want to complain too much. But yeah, Carney's popular in Canada. I don't know what's going on. Why? Who's voting for this guy? I don't know who's voting for him. Alright, more of this stuff. We saw this yesterday. All these Indian students have their visa expired, and they don't want to. In the past, a lot of these Indian kids would get their 2-year business administration degree from Lambton College, and then they'd get what it's called a postgraduate work permit or something like that. Basically, it's giving them a chance to stay in Canada forever. That's their plan, and that's what they want. And now I guess certain programs have been delisted from the PGWP, postgraduate worker program, whatever, permit. And now they face the prospect of going back to India, and they're horrified by this prospect. Yesterday it was in Edmonton. Yeah, this is Edmonton too. But they have it in Calgary too. They're all over. They don't want to go back. Justice for students. Don't send us back to India. They must be horrified. They have to go back to India. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because I haven't seen any of them get on a plane. They don't look very eager to get on a plane, so I bet you anything they're gonna get amnesty, they'll be grandfathered in since they're already here or some shit. I wouldn't be surprised, so we'll have to keep our eye on that. But every day you see these protests for them, don't send us to India, please. Yeah. It must be pretty bad in the place you grew up in and the language you speak. You're hoping that they don't send you back. Shootings next. Third world GTA. Shootings have nearly doubled in Ontario Peel region so far this year. Peel region, which includes Brampton, I believe. Police tackle rising incidents of crime in Toronto area. Jesus, it's a third world Toronto. Number of shootings has nearly doubled in Peel region west of Toronto in the first 6 months of 2026 when compared to the first half of 2025. Reason for that increase is absolutely connected to extortions, so Indian extortions, organized crime, and international drug trade. In the first 6 months of this year, there have been 103 shooting incidents in Mississauga and Brampton involving a firearm being discharged. So double, almost double what of last year. So yeah, it's turning into a third world. Home invasions remain a persistent problem. 50 home invasions in the first 6 months. Oh no, wait. That's 2024. So 36 so far in 2026. Still, that's too much. So yeah, Peel region's going to shit. Let's keep bringing. Okay. Third world GTA. What's this? I don't have much. I'm going to have to go on the repost. Okay. I saw this. Indian versus bus, Toronto. Why is this invader holding up traffic, and why didn't the driver accidentally hit the guy? Let's see this. It's only going to get worse. What's he doing?
Why is he holding up traffic?
He's beefing with the TTC driver in the middle of the road.
Bro, get out the fucking road.
What do you do? Did you get kicked off the bus? I don't know. That's how they do it in India. Probably wouldn't let him on the bus for free. All right. Here's the latest poll, Nano's poll. For what day? July 24th, so pretty recent. Look at this. Projected seats, 224 for the Liberals, an increase of 55. 74 for the Conservatives, minus 70. I'm not like a professional, but that doesn't sound good at all. BQ down, up 5. NDP up 10. Green, even. So, Liberal majority government, obviously. I mean, you gotta think that the Conservatives are gonna be starting to, like, Pierre's gonna start feeling the heat a little. Like, it's not good numbers. Like, I don't care who you are. You can try and spin it all you want. And there's some other numbers I want to find out. Wonder if there's more down here. Yeah. So the federal voting, this is bad numbers. 44.7 for the Liberals. 29.5 for the, so they're under 30%. Eee. So, there's got to be some heat on them to quit. I know we got the big leadership thing, but this is you can't be happy with this numbers if you're conservatives. Maybe they are happy. I don't know. 44.7. Oh my God. And I said, like, I predicted Pierre won't be around to run in the next election as the leader. I thought that because he lost his riding, and nobody survives losing their riding during an election loss. Like, it's hard. Usually they resign that night. Unless they win, it's like a fluke and their party wins, but they lose, then fine, call by-election and get your seat. But when you lose the election and you lose your seat, usually the guy quits or the girl quits that night. And he didn't. So I thought he's not going to make it to the next election. And then he got that leadership review where he got like 85%. I thought, well, I could be wrong, of course. I still might be wrong. But with these numbers, considering, like, he's all the, potential arrows he could have been flinging at Carney that would stick, like the economy, the cost of living. Nothing's hitting Carney. He's not landing any punches. And he hasn't energized his base at all. Like, they're dejected, basically. So it's going to be weird, the Conservative Party. Like, who do they get? If they get rid of Pierre, who do they get? Jason Kenney? Doug Ford? Who else? Patrick Brown? Like, who do they get? But they're horrible numbers, though. Like, I think maybe people are chilling out for the summer. And then come fall, the knives will come out. So, we'll see. Maybe my prediction will be right. Maybe he won't run. All right, here's this human trafficking shit. So basically, from what I understand of human trafficking, because when I think of human trafficking, I always thought, like, daredevil, like chicks in storage in not storage containers, shipping containers being brought in from to the port. But it's a lot more it's like a lot more horrible. Well, it's horrible. The shipping containers are horrible, but it's a lot more like down to earth. Like, it's basically these guys, scumbags, and they like find vulnerable girls and boys probably, and they're probably really nice to them at first. Like, I'm talking like down on their luck, homeless at the bus station kids, and they give them some nice stuff, and they get them comfortable, and then they start exploiting them, and they make a lot of money off them until they're used up and thrown away. And it seems to be happening a lot more in Canada. Sometimes, in UK they had the Muslim rape gangs. I don't know a lot about that, but it sounds pretty crazy. And all I know about that is I don't want it coming here. But it seems to be coming here. Because I've seen more and more human trafficking stories in Canada. And when I was growing up in Canada, I'd never heard about human trafficking. Like, I'm sure there was human trafficking back then, of course, but it was probably more of an elite thing. Now it's like all these criminals are into it. So, what do you do with people like that? You have to, I say prison camp. Like, Northern Ontario, middle of nowhere, prison camp. And like that way they don't, do this. They shouldn't be walking around. Largest human trafficking case in the force's history after a 10-month multi-jurisdictional probe. 10 months. That's a long time. 10 months to catch 9 suspects. That's crazy. The Punisher could have had it done in like a day. 9 suspects face a total of 85 charges. In a sweeping case that also resulted in the seizure of luxury vehicles, drugs, jewelry, and Canadian U.S. currency. So they're making lots of money off these girls. Investigation began September 25 when a female came forward, saying she was being exploited by the suspects. Okay. So basically, she gave the cops all the info. I don't know why it took 10 months, but whatever, I don't know. Constantini, that's the name of the cause, said this. He believes the 12 victims identified in the case are only just the tip of the iceberg in this case, which remains open and ongoing. Investigators say the suspects used coercion, deception, manipulation, and psychological harm to maintain control, direction, or influence over the victims. So yeah. Omar Brooks. All black people. You have to think, how many more of these gangs are there in Toronto, in Canada? Not just black guys, all people. All these human trafficking things. You gotta get rid of these guys. What do you do with them? Probably people say executions, but I don't know. If you don't want to be too bloodthirsty, you could send them up to the gulag, the Northern Ontario gulag, because that's where they belong. All right, let's see what I retweeted today, because it seems to have separated it. All right, new poll finds majority of Albertans want to remain in Canada. This is interesting because when Danielle Smith called the referendum in the fall, I figured this is what she's doing. She's like, you're basically giving the Independence Party zero time to prepare their campaign. because literally the vote's coming up. They didn't have a year to prepare and to drum up support. So she figured, might as well give them a vote now when they're weaker and then put it to rest. Like, people thought she was supporting independence. I don't think she was. I think she knew that it was a weak. There was support was soft, and they didn't have time. If you called a vote right away, like she did, they wouldn't have time to prepare, and it would probably ice the movement. If they lose this one, it'll probably ice it for a while. So it's basically saying large majority of Albertans in every region of the province want to remain in Canada. So yeah, that's why she called this referendum question. Like, basically it's a question to say, do you support having a referendum? It's not, do you support separating from Alberta? It says, do you support having a referendum to separate? And I think she knew they were weak and they wouldn't have time to prepare. Because I think the separatists were hoping for like a year to prepare, not 2 months, 3 months. Large majority, okay. I don't know how skewed this poll is. 78% of respondents in Calgary and 80% in Edmonton say they'll definitely or probably vote to stay in Canada. In both central and northern Alberta, the poll found 66% of respondents said they'll vote to remain. And in southern Alberta, the poll found 72% would vote to stay. Okay. So those were pretty pro, like anti, like a lot of people voting against the referendum, basically. So we'll see. I don't know how accurate this poll is because it looks like it was commissioned by Vote to Stay, which is kind of like, I don't know how biased it is, but we'll see. I think it sounds correct, but we'll see. I'm in Ontario. I don't live in Alberta, so. All right. Here's another one on Pierre. Poilievre is not the right conservative leader for these times, Michael Harris writes. I don't subscribe to this, so I didn't read it. But I've seen a lot of posts like this about questioning Pierre's leadership now that these polls consistently are coming out. That showing him losing badly still. And Carney, like I said, the economy's like, people are struggling with the cost of living, but Carney's outplaying them. We need a nationalist. We're not going to get one though, but there's the trafficking.
Forward to the Halton Regional Police Service.
See what he says here.
Survivor of exploitation. Thanks for coming here today. In September 2025, a strong and brave woman came forward to the Halton Regional Police Service as a survivor of exploitation. This resulted in an investigation into the alleged incidents that had been taking place across the Greater Toronto area. Thanks to her incredible
Toronto, third world Toronto,
was a large-scale, 10-month, multi-jurisdiction investigation that uncovered an additional 11 victims who were subjected to commercial sexual exploitation over an extended period of time.
Pimped out.
Unfortunately, we believe that 12 victims is just the tip of the iceberg in this case. On July 13th, 2026, with the assistance of numerous police services across the GTA, namely Niagara, Hamilton, Guelph, Waterloo, Peel, OPP, and the Toronto Police Service, our human trafficking unit executed simultaneous search warrants across the GTA at 10 residences, 5 in Halton, 4 in Peel, and 1 in Toronto. The following items were amongst those seized: 3 high-end vehicles, namely a Lamborghini, and
Lamborghini.
Benz,
Pimps living it up.
$450,000 worth of high-end jewelry,
Pimps.
approximately
Gotta look good.
$30,000 in Canadian and U.S. currency, and a quantity of drugs, including cocaine, oxycodone, psilocybin, and cannabis, and a plethora of electronic devices. The officers in this investigation utilized numerous investigative techniques, including wiretaps and surveillance, to identify and arrest individuals believed to be involved. As a result of the investigation, the 8 individuals you see displayed on the board are facing a combined 83 criminal charges. Just to name some of the charges: trafficking.
Do you know how tied up the courts are going to be just for these 10
assault with a
people?
weapon, uttering threats,
Years.
instruct to commit.
They'll
for
probably just
benefit of
cop a
criminal
plea, too.
organization, receiving material benefit for trafficking in persons, living off avails of
Pimpin'.
prostitution,
Just say
advertised
pimpin'.
sexual services, possession of drugs for the purpose of trafficking, and laundering proceeds of crime.
Pimpin'.
We believe that some of the accused in this case utilized coercion, deception, manipulation, and psychological harm to
Right.
maintain.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. What do you do with this? Because they just bog down the court system. Just this group of 10 is going to take forever to get through the courts. And it happens every day there's stuff like this. So here's Nick Kuvalis. He wants Pierre to go, and he's a pretty smart guy. I mean, he got Rob Ford elected mayor of Toronto, even though the guy was kind of a train wreck on he was a good politician, but he was a train wreck. He still got him elected, and he got helped get Doug Ford elected. And he's anti-Pierre, so he's saying holy kettleballs. But the thing is, he's one of the guys who think, you win elections by, focusing on the broadest base instead of being a nationalist. Like, he's totally against that. I get it, but he thinks Pierre is kind of on the too far right, which a lot of people on the far right don't believe he is. So he just thinks Pierre's followers are a bunch of nutbags. Some of them are. If you criticize Pierre, they all freak out on you. It's all right. This is our immigration minister talking about international students. Let's see what she says. She's going to give them amnesty, probably. I know it's going to happen.
Recently, the students from some provinces, especially from Ontario and Alberta, they are protesting because they are getting mass rejections for the post-graduation work permits, and right now a protest is going on in Alberta. So what is government doing about it? Is it targeted something, and why it is happening?
So, international students
She doesn't know what to say.
add value to our Canadian economy. There's no doubt about it. When I started in political life in 2013 as a provincial minister, we worked extremely hard to ensure that when international students came to our educational institutions, that they were welcomed, that they were looked after, and that they got a very good education. Henceforward, decade or so later, we started to see in Canada, in different parts of the country, that there were issues and challenges happening. And so a number of things had to happen in 2024. Now, and I'm proud of some decisions that were taken, but I would say many people across the country, whether it's the institutions themselves, whether it's the students themselves, whether it's Canadians, all groups. Your specific questions on PGWP is that there has been no change. it was always the case
Always.
that non-credit are not entitled to these postgraduate work permit. So we have not changed any eligibility for that.
Okay, I didn't know
We
that.
continue to work with provinces because the provinces are the ones that have the jurisdiction
Well, she's passing it off to
over
the
the
province.
education component. And so we're sensitive to the needs of the provinces as well as the needs of, Canadians and as well as the students. But I assure you, we've made no changes to our eligibility requirements since November 2024.
Recently, the students from some
Okay.
provinces, especially from Ontario,
So I don't know. She didn't really answer. I guess she didn't say she was gonna let him stay, so that's a good thing.
post-graduation work.
I'm sure they'll let him stay. That's the problem. She didn't say they would, but all right. Always a victim. Feel bad for us. We deserve rights because back home everyone is sleeping in pure shit. There is no room, and we rape constantly. Let's see.
eligible for BGWP. So please,
This
it's
is-
a request to
they
the
really don't
IRCC
wanna go
to
back.
open our files, reconsider. I want to request IRCC please reconsider our files because as per our college, they were promised us that they send lots of emails.
So
that
the
they
college
that we are
promised them?
eligible for BGWP. So please, it's a request to the IRCC. Please reopen our files, reconsider them, and give us right.
It's never been easy to leave home country and came across a lot distance for a better future. We came Canada for hoping a better future in this country, but we never imagined that we have to sit on the roads demanding for our rights. and
What
justice
rights?
For us. This is very hot weather. We all are sitting here. We can't eat or drink properly here, but still we want our community to stand with us so that our voice being heard to the IRCC and we get our fair decisions.
Not winning many friends here.
I want to request IRCC please reconsider our files because
Sounds like someone was promising him stuff that they couldn't deliver. Who knows? Who knows what happened? But they were probably promised by some third party that, oh, you get a work student permit and then they'll let you in, they'll let you stay for sure. So, who knows? They'll give the sob story and then the government will let them stay. Well, now that they're in Canada, you have to drag them out of Canada. Okay, here's another number from that poll. Preferred Prime Minister. Carney Wallops Polyev on this 54 to 18. That's pretty bad. Nanos isn't. He's pretty. It's a pretty reliable polling firm too. I don't know. That's really bad. Bernier's only at 1%. Not moving the needle there. Okay. Okay, here's the Calgary foreign students. So this is the one we saw in Edmonton. Now here's the Calgary. They're everywhere. Why did they dread going home so badly?
They're calling on the government to act.
They hate India.
sitting for the hunger strike until MLA or MP will come.
The hunger strike.
Around 100 international students are demonstrating here in Northeast Calgary over what they call unfair rejections for postgraduate work permits, and they're calling on the government to act. Why a hunger strike?
Actually, we tried our best. We went to the MP, we sent lots of the emails to the MPs, MLAs, to the college and all of them, but we didn't got any positive outcome from them.
Lovepreet Kaur is one of 6 people swearing off food for the time being, but the overwhelming majority of those in attendance all have a similar story of a permit being
They all have a
rejected.
sob story.
If there is any kind of confusion, they might listen us, they might reconsider our files because we came here after paying like huge amount of fees and taxes.
The federal government introduced changes to eligibility in late 2024, months after Sikander Singh had begun his administrative professional studies at Portage College. He says at the time of admission, it was his understanding that he would be eligible for a permit.
I was waiting for the best hope. I did everything in the schedule. I go to the school. I have a proper attendance. I have a proper assignments. I have proper transcripts.
In a statement to City News earlier in the week, Immigrant, Refugees and Citizenship Canada say, quote, applicants must ensure that their specific program of study is eligible, as not all programs offered by a designated learning institution qualify for a post-graduation work permit.
Giving us guarantee like you are eligible for the PGWP. Do you have the emails with you? Yeah. Who is answerable to this? CIOT, Campbell, or the Portage?
You folks are Portage graduates. Portage College did the offer letters, we did the acceptances. You are Portage College. You've been credentialed by Portage College. You are alumni of Portage College. In May 2024, when IRCC started changing rules, IRCC has shifted the policy, right? They've changed their policy, which they can do, that's their right. Portage College, unfortunately, we don't assess, we don't make decisions, we don't determine eligibility. That's the IRCC's world. At this point, we don't have an answer from IRCC. We continue to try to get answers and seek clarification.
Portage College is saying that they can't go with the legal action. Is it clear to everyone?
Yeah.
Portage is trying to contact IRCC, but Portage didn't get any reply from IRCC. Am I right? So Portage College is trying to.
So now they're gonna blame the college
on the behalf of students, but you didn't get any reply, right?
That's correct. We continue to work through channels to try to get.
Oh, they're gonna let him stay. These guys ain't going nowhere.
That's the options that you've got, as well as immigration specialists.
Look at them. They're terrified. They're like, no.
What's on the website is
I do not want to go back.
That's what we.
Don't send me back to India.
Our college said that you are eligible, and now IRCC said no. You are
No,
eligible because
I don't want to go back.
because of your non-credit study. So why college not giving any help to the students?
Clarification on your behalf. That's what the college is doing with IRCC. We don't have the answer. If I had the answer today, it would be a very different conversation, but we have to work through the process.
Today is 20 July, 7 day pass, still we have nothing.
Same
so
question.
The thing is, we have limited days. If we have more days, we still will accept that, okay, college is taking time, but the thing is, students don't have any time. And what is the best way to contact?
So basically, they think if they make a big enough stink,
Like, I don't think so, it's not a couple.
Literally.
400 people, 500
and
people,
figuratively,
a lot expensive.
that they'll be able to stay. That's the strategy. That's what we're seeing right now. Basically, just complain and cry and offer us,
Made based on IRCC rules
and
at the time
because they think, our
of 2024. Yeah, we.
politicians will fold, and
Yeah.
maybe they're right.
Their website wasn't.
We'll find out.
It was eligible, and in fact, in the meeting that they had.
It's kind of funny following this.
ਇਸੇ ਕਾਲਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਇਸੇ ਕੋਰਸਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੇਮ ਕੋਰਸਿਸ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਸੇਮ ਕਲਾਸਾਂ
So basically, they're going to complain and complain and complain
ਅਪਰੂਵਲਸ ਆਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਨਸਟੈਡ ਆਫ
and cry and cry and cry until they
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਲੀਅਰ
get a reprieve because
ਵੀ 15 ਮਈ
they don't want to go back. But they're also saying, like, they're basically saying, we didn't come here to be students. We came here to come here to stay. And the student thing was just bullshit. Just for us to pay money and get into Canada. Just a way for us to get into Canada. Basically, the one guy said that. He says, the girl said that. We came to Canada for a better future. They didn't come to get their degree or their diploma and go back and run the chemical plant or the power plant. No, they just came to stay. And, that's fine, but the colleges that, including my college here in Sarnia, Lambton College, basically flooded the cities with these international students, and they were saying, look how good our college is. All these students from around the world want to come here and learn. And the implication, though they never said it, was they're going to learn, they're going to go back and fix India or fix Nigeria. But the students are like, hell no, this thing's just for us, this degree, this diploma is just for us to stay here. That's literally all it is. It's not going to help Nigeria or India. So they basically admit it. They're saying, hey, we paid all this money to come here. What's up? But I was saying that like 10 years ago. I said, or 5 years ago, I said, they're not students, they're immigrants. At least be honest about it. I'm sure they'll get the amnesty. It's going to happen. All right. This one. SUV crashed into a van in Ontario, killing 5 kids. I remember that. That happened just now. It's now being reported that the SUV drove through a stop sign and struck the van. No name has been released, but the now deceased SUV driver was described as a 42-year-old Brampton man. This is a story found familiar. It's like a mini Humboldt Broncos. 5 little kids. I didn't know the driver of the SUV was dead. I thought he was just injured, and they weren't releasing his name. But he's dead. Like, he died must have died afterwards. So I don't know why they don't release his name. Could it be Singh, maybe? That's weird. Now the family had to hire a lawyer because lawyers will, you gotta find some answers, I guess, like it's 5 kids died and there's, I don't know. But yeah, so many fatal car crashes lately too. All right. And look at this. This is the drivers we have to put up with. Sikh man with his cell phone in one hand pulls out in front of oncoming vehicle and nearly gets T-boned. Punjab has 3.2 times more yearly traffic fatalities per capita than Canada. We mass imported higher traffic fatality rates. So, we're just talking about running stop signs. Here's an example. They have nice cars, though. Boom. So you gotta be like eyes on the back of your head. You gotta be watching every car, just assuming they're gonna run into you. All right. So here's Nick Cavalis again. Indiana's poll says 45 to 30 for the Liberals over the Conservatives. Someone wake up the caucus. So basically he's saying, get rid of Pierre. Like the caucus can eject. Just like what they did with Aaron O'Toole. They voted him out as the leader. So basically that's what he's saying. He's against Pierre. He's going to keep going too. He's kind of a bulldog, this guy. You don't have to agree with him, but he wins. Unfortunately, he wins. I think he's got like the boomer as the target voter, which is, they're the ones who vote. So that's who he targets, and that's how he wins. I think once young people start becoming the voting bloc that matters, he'll totally readjust. Because, all he cares about, he's a win. He wants to win elections. He doesn't want to change the world. And he doesn't want Pierre there. He's Greek, too. He's probably living it up in Greece on the summer vacation. Driver charged after a vehicle gets stuck in Caledon. Oh, this was that truck driver who tried to go around the roundabout or something. We saw that yesterday. They ended up charging him. All right. So yeah, summer of driving chaos. Lots of. It's you should be able to drive with them, just without having to worry about some idiot killing you. But welcome to third world Canada, I guess. All right, that's it for tonight. Next broadcast. Oh, July 31st, end of the month coming up. Friday, July 31st. So, we'll see what happens. Until then, until Friday. We'll see you then.